When I think about uh, the content that I consume, the books I read and the movies that I watch, I often think about how is it that there are many books and novels and you know movies that I like very much, but they don't have a story as such, not a complete plot in them, but I still like them. And that is, when I think about it, it is because it has a really beautiful imagery in it. So that led me into thinking about how exactly do I analyze the stuff that I consume subconsciously. How do I analyze the stuff that I consume? Well, I came to kind of a conclusion that first I'm going to just talk about something other than books. So it's going to be novels, other than novels, like it's going to be movies and series and all. When it comes to consuming them and watching them, and that is other than the movies that are book adaptations, so it is completely something that was originally written to be a movie. What I think should be, and what I personally do, is from a spectator's perspective. I think uh, a movie either has either of the two in them. It's either extremely amazing plot, or it's a plot that is okay, but the direction is amazing. The lighting and the contrasting of the colors in the movie is amazing. The whole imagery and the visual content of the movie is so good that it surpasses the absence of a proper plot. And I think many movies are meant to be consumed this way. And when I talk about movies that are meant to be consumed this way, the first movie that comes into my mind is Laila Majnu. The whole view and the aura and the whole imagery of that movie is so captivating that the absence of a actual plot in the movie, I'm gonna say absence of a plot because I feel that there was absence of a plot in the movie, but it doesn't matter because the things the movie makes you feel is so much more than the actual plot that the movie has. So yeah, that was about how good the imagery the movie creates is. And if the movie is something that has an amazing plot, it won't matter to me much about the scenes and the actual visuals that I consume when it comes to that movie. Now coming to my favorite part, talking about books, about how you know it is it is when a book is adapted into a movie, the main thing that I fear is that when I read a book, the expressions and the feelings of the persons in the book, the characters in the book, is solely dependent upon a the writing style and the way the author depicts it, and b the way that I think the I in my mind the picture it creates. So it is completely dependent on the person who's consuming it. But when it comes to movies, book adaptations are more dependent upon the actors, the way they act. If the book shows a very mixed emotion in the character at a particular point, that is mix of anger and frustration and stuff, but if the actor is not so good at portraying that feeling, it's gonna spoil my experience towards that movie. So I'm keeping book adaptations out of the purview of my discussion because that is something that is completely subjective, and the only book adaptation that appeals to me to this day is 2nd or 3rd Feb 2025 is Call Me by Your Name. That the whole movie feels like a movie. That feels like a movie. The way I felt while reading the book, I think that movie was able to captivate more or less everything in that. So yeah, when it comes to books, the way the author creates the imagery in my mind, the way the book is written, poetically, and the imagery used in the book, and almost no for a plot, but the book is really amazing when it comes to the writing style and all that stuff. It's I know for a fact that this book is gonna be very close to my heart because that's how just it works for me. Best example has to be Call Me by Your Name, and to this day, the only book that has been able to achieve a 10 on 10 for a plot and a 10 on 10 for a writing style and the imagery it creates, because all the times it is either of the one that a book is able to do properly. It's either an excellent plot but a poor writing style, or a writing style that is not as highlighting as the plot, like the imagery and all that stuff, or it's a book that's really amazing when it comes to the imagery and poetic and the poetry it builds, the way it's written, and it is um, okay when it comes to the plot. This type of book I have read will be, I think, a Quiet Belief in Angels by R.J. Laurie. That's the book. Yeah. Uh, to this day, the only book that has been able to achieve both of these is, I think I have two here. I have two winners here. Uh, a book that stands on second number for me is The Truth About the Harry Quebert Affair by Joel Dicker. Bro did an amazing job for the plot, and it had a really nice component of the imagery it had in it. But the winner has to be Oscar Wilde for The Picture of Dorian Gray, because that book is life. It is everything that life has, it is everything that life is, and the plot is a 10 on 10. I just love that book.